And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage, Mark Tuttle.
Amazingly, I'm still employed. By the way, a quick safety message for you tonight, folks. If you step into the booth to record your EverQuest story, have you guys seen that? Your little confessional booth that we've had for the last couple of months, so you can tell your EverQuest story. You can do that about any game. If you're a PlanetSide fan, you're a DCO fan, or Dragon's Prophet, you can step in there and you can say, this is my insert name game story. Safety tip: if you step into the booth to tell your story and you're required to deposit a quarter to continue, you're in the wrong booth. The person on the other end of the sliding window doesn't care about your 44-slot bag. Maybe. They're watching a different show over there. All right, so, boy, now that we got rid of those PlanetSide 2 players, huh? Let's talk a little bit about what's happening in EverQuest and EverQuest 2. We're going to show you some really cool stuff tonight. Yeah. Well, all right, let's EverQuest and EverQuest 2. Let's hear it. First up, we would like to introduce the man who owns this crotch. Why did we do that? This is senior producer for EverQuest, Tom Terrazas. Thanks, sir.
This is kind of some wimpy music. Mark, where was that cool music you had with the DJ when you came out? There you go. Keep it going. What, you gotta stop? Keep it going, keep it going. All right, this is good. All right, now instead of SOE Live, let's do Forever Quest. Ready? When I say forever, you say quest. Forever, forever. When I say forever, you say. Oh, you're dying. All right, we can end it. All right, thanks, guys. So hey, great to see some familiar faces out there, and unfamiliar faces as well. You know who you are. Well, hey, so EverQuest has been having a great year, and it's great to be here on a game that has just celebrated its 14th anniversary. Now, John has some great memories. I do too. And if I can kind of interject just a little bit, today I'm celebrating my 15th anniversary working for Sony. Today. So it's pretty cool. So we've been having a great year, and one of the big things that we've been focused on in the last couple of years is storytelling. And the storylines that we're telling in the game, we want you to experience while playing versus reading it somewhere. It's been a great focus for us. And another big focus is raising the bar in everything that we do. Experimenting with new tech, innovating on new features, and to carry us into the future. So that said, let's take a look at what we've been doing lately on EverQuest. Now, for the 14th anniversary, just a few months ago, we did something that was pretty special that heavily involved all of you here. You grouped up with our game designers at SOE Live last year, and you created player design missions. And we implemented those in the game in March. So, I mean, player design mission, that's pretty cool. What I was very impressed with was the creativity. Some of you wanted to work with nostalgic content. Some of you wanted to work with storylines that we were telling right now. You guys wanted your stories to be part of the current storylines for the game. That was pretty awesome. I was very impressed, so thank you for that. Now, just a couple of weeks ago, we launched a Heart of Fear game update. Now, this was iconic because it finalized storylines we've been telling for the last 3 years. And as a matter of fact, these are storylines we've been telling longer than any other period of the game. It started in 2010 with a war that was pitting family members against each other, a storyline about corruption and fear. And this was about Kasich, Morel, and Terrace Thule. No, Michelle, this was not about the Kardashians again, okay? Reality TV's killing me. So, in 2011, this is when the Alaran race is discovered, and there is a large absorption of Kasich Thule's lost power. In 2012, after an Alaran god is destroyed, fear shards rain upon Norath. And there's a race for the power, to collect the power, and the Reign of Fear is the first chapter you guys experience as we tell and deliver content very differently than we have done in the past. And that was in the form of chapters or episodes. We started with the Reign of Fear in November, and then we moved on with the Shadow of Fear in April, and then ultimately the conclusion of all those stories for the last 3 years, and for this expansion with the Heart of Fear game update. Now, you've been used to content releases, one major game release about this time of the year in the form of an expansion. So our goal with this approach was to give you major game releases frequently throughout the year, to give you something to look forward to, something new to look forward to all year long. Now, also with the Heart of Fear game update, we delivered class-specific weapons. And thank you. Now, these are pictures of some of the weapons, and also with particle effects for the raid weapons. Now, if you completed a series of tasks and achievements that started with the Reign of Fear, and then we've linked them through content in the Shadow of Fear and Heart of Fear, you obtain your class-specific weapon. Now, not only do these look cool, but you can power them up by doing the additional tasks with raids. All right, Heroes Forge Armor. We launched this last year, and not only did we love that it gave you more options to customize your character's appearance, but when it launched, oh my God, how we wanted it to look even better. So we went back this last year and we worked on new techniques to get the armor to behave better with the skin. And this was a result. I love the original switch to the Reforged. Much better, thank you. It's looking pretty kick-ass. Now I have to thank all of you, because we received great feedback when we were getting ready to launch this. We were just going to give you the reforged look and take away the original sets. Now, a lot of you were still in love with some of those unique looks, so we allowed you to keep those, and we also allowed you to mix and match. So I thank you for your feedback. Keep it up. All right, now this is just us being kids in a candy store. All right, the Heroes Forge Armor system has allowed us to do some creative stuff. And you can see that we've been able to do some fun stuff with hats for holidays. And you saw that the animal helms, where you can only get those from the NPC barbarians. That's the only time you could see that look. And we've also had some looks for our casters. And we're going to keep experimenting. We're going to keep trying to find great ways to give you different and unique looks. For example, doing something like this. You know, new shaders, new emitters, and looks pretty kick-ass. Maybe we should show that again. Let's do that again. All right, that's played its bit out. All right, now what I'd like to do is actually show you a sneak peek on coming attractions for Heroes Forge. we're doing new sets, and we're theming it around the content that we are working on. So we're really trying to make sure that this really ties in well with our storylines. And there's a set we're going to theme around our Clockwork creators, a set themed around our new Bixies, and also a new set themed around Dark Elves and Neriac. Now how about robes? You wanted them to fit tighter and you wanted more color variations. We're doing that too. This month in our August release you will get new robes. Cool. All right, moving on. All right, Player Studio, thank you. Now, Player Studio, we're just getting underway, or actually, should I say, you guys are just getting underway. These are some items that have been delivered with the Heroes Forge, with the Player Studio, and we actually have, I think, well over 150 items in game right now, just from your creations. And these are some of the items, and we also have a creator that's been doing a lot of EQ items, and his name is Troy. Is Troy here? Troy, there's Troy. Now you also know him as Rollin, and these are some of his nicer items that he's been creating. And now Troy has been creating items, probably weapons and shields for the first time. And I mean, this is kind of a kudos to him for doing this. This is something he's grabbed inspiration from the game, everywhere in the game, symbols. So if Troy can do it, I mean, you guys can do this too. So if you feel like contributing, hey, don't laugh now, you can do it. Oh, okay, good. So these are items that Troy's been working on, and I think you guys can do the same. And if you want some help, maybe you can start buying Troy some drinks now. All right. Or buy his items. All right. Now, speaking of raising the bar that I mentioned, or raising the goddess of Lekland, actually. Now, we're focused on creating more impactful scenes so that when you encounter iconic characters in the game, we want that to be very memorable. So we're going to be working more on scenes like this for the game.
Your journey into darkness ends here. If only your death may bring balance to the shadows, so be it.
And we're also experimenting with voiceover. Now, we think that this can add a great dimension to the game if we do it right with the cinematic techniques that we're going to be using. So expect more things like this in the future. Okay. All right, so not only is our armor looking better, but also our zones. These are looks at 1999 zones and the way these zones were recreated and how they look now. And also some art that we've been working on for the last couple of years. I mean, this is us just not being happy with the status quo. We want to keep on improving our art, and here's some of the new art over the last couple of years. We're going to keep working on this, and our artists are doing a tremendous job of always pushing the limits to what our game can do and modernizing the game. Now I actually want this to play out. I love the scene at the end here with the waterfalls. Now when the gorillas are standing there, yeah, it takes me back to some sort of movie, but it's just a tremendous scene. All right, now I also mention content frequently throughout the year. Now, part of that has been with our hardcore heritage events that we launched this summer. Now, if you don't know, many of you know what hardcore heritage events are, but for those that don't, this is a revisit to classic zones. Zones like Kazakh Thul, Black Burrow, Unrest, Lower Guk, and a few more. So this allows you to go back and play that content with your higher level character. And it's been going great. It launched in June, and it will continue through the mid part of September. And what you don't know is that we're adding 2 new zones, Nagafin's Lair and Castle Mistmore. Now these will launch, I believe, on or around August 23rd and extend through the 16th of September. So check them out. It's always fun. I feel nostalgic every time I play and I go back to the old zones, and this allows you to kind of have that same feeling, but with your higher level character. Now, at this point, I'd like to make a special announcement. Would the driver of a blue Volkswagen, no, I'm kidding. All right, so it gives me great pleasure to be the first employee here at SOE to announce the next expansion for EverQuest. EverQuest Call of the Forsaken will be our unprecedented 20th expansion for our blockbuster hit EverQuest. And I mean that, that's our game, your game as well as ours. Now, in this expansion, we're going to be taking you kind of back, or bringing you back within Norath. We've gone a few years where we've taken the stories outside of Norath, I guess, proper, and we're going to be bringing you back to tell you stories about classic and traditional characters that you know and love. And we're also going to be taking you to some zones for actually the very first time. They've existed since the beginning of EverQuest, but until now you've never been able to adventure there. Now, here's a quick look at some of the zone work that we have created, and it's still under construction, so keep that in mind as I talk a little bit about the storyline. Now, the story begins with a series of cataclysmic events, and they're occurring in the West Karanas. And these events have led to an abrupt arrival of a powerful dragon that has traveled there through another thread or dimension. And her name is Lady Lindenaria. And her arrival has torn through an invisible seam that binds countless realities together. And now it is exposing what ancient texts refer to as Aetherneer. Now, without knowing why or how she's arrived, Norathians are kind of prophesizing that this might be the end of times. Many are viewing her as a threat. Well, as this is occurring, many Norathians are uniting to confront this dragon invader. They want to find out if she's friend or foe, but one thing is for certain, they find out that she did not travel there alone. Now, as you travel there, you're going to be coming through zones, again, like I mentioned, that have always existed since the beginning of time. You'll find them through lore and also on some of the maps. The Dead Hills. We'll be going to the Dead Hills with this expansion, as well as Neriak Fourth Gate. Now you're going to be traveling there, and you're going to be coming across familiar faces that you thought were lost in time, and you're going to be looking for powerful artifacts to send Lady Lindenaria back to her world. Now, for this expansion, we're also creating a new system. It's called Heroic Adventures. And Heroic Adventures is a series of handcrafted scenarios that we've built. And if you're familiar with Eldon, it's kind of Eldon-ish, but with a true system that manages your experiences as you go into a zone. So when you enter a zone, the cool part about this is that everything is going to be put together at that point. It's going to be based on the group that you go into that zone with. So the objectives, the pathways, the loot, rewards, the mobs, the power level, it will all be created at that time. And we've designed this so that each time that you go into the zone, we hope that this creates a new experience for you. Now, Call of the Forsaken will be going into beta on August 14th, on or around August 14th. That's just in a couple weeks. And beta will, and pre-orders will start within a couple weeks after that, and we intend to launch the expansion in late September. I'll get out of the way of your picture. All right, so we are already planning on doing another release early next year that ties into Call of the Forsaken. And by buying the expansion next month, you will get that content for free. Now, as you experienced our Fear series with Reign of Fear, Shadow of Fear, and Heart of Fear, this will be very similar. We intend on creating content over the next year that is specifically for you. Once you buy the expansion, you'll be getting that content for free. All right, so what else are we doing? Tons of things. A lot of things that we want to do, a lot of features we want to do. But this is your game too, and what we want to do is engage you. So on the forums over the next couple months, we're going to specifically be talking to you to find out what you want for your game. Now, my dev team is squirming in their chairs right now because they think that means that we can just do everything that you want. Obviously, we can't. But we want to have those conversations with you. This is your game as well as it is ours. So we want to know what you want. Now, before we commit to any of those features, those dialogues will happen. And what I'd also like to do, speaking of features, is talk to you about the 15th anniversary and things that we're planning on doing in just a few months after the turn of the year. 15 years, that's amazing, guys. That is truly amazing. So, we are planning on doing new race class combinations. Again, you will get to vote and choose and help us pick the right ones. So, I think you just asked for more Ranger class combinations. I'm guessing that's probably not going to be the case. Actually, somebody was threatening me with a class action lawsuit if we were too demeaning to the Rangers up here on stage this time. So I apologize for that. We'll try not to do that anymore. Sounds like you want it. Kind of gives new meaning to class action. Having the Rangers have an action other than dying, right? So, all right, we'll get on with it. We're also going to be doing the player design missions. So the panel that you helped us create missions last year, we're having 2 this year. So sign up early. The first one's tomorrow, so make sure you sign up. There'll be 2. Check the schedule for the second one. I believe it's on Saturday afternoon. And we'll be putting those in for the 15th anniversary as well. And a mystery zone. Now, I want a little player participation here. So I'm going to give you a few clues. You tell me if you can guess it, blurt it out after I give you clues. 5 stones. Who said it over here? God, that was good. Have you ever wondered where that locked portal stone went to in the Plane of Tranquility? 11 years ago, in the Planes of Power expansion, the Plane of War zone was obviously missing. Now, over the years, we've wanted to go back to that and relaunch that zone. So for the 15th anniversary, we're going to do that. I can't think of a better time to get nostalgic with an old zone than with our 15th anniversary. Now, many more things, but what I'd like to do next is find my team. So team, where are you? I'd like you to stand up and be recognized. Don't be shy about it. Stand up. I can see a couple of you scattered about. Now, I've never met a more passionate group of people that care about a game as much as this group. So I applaud you. I'll applaud you later since it's kind of hard with this thing, but I applaud you. And I'd also like to thank another passionate group of people, and that is you. You're equally as passionate about this game as we are. And we couldn't do this without you. I'm sorry, what was that?
Take my money.
Take her money. Somebody with a credit card machine, run over there. There'll be time enough that we're here for 4 days, so. But hey, this is your game as much as it is ours, and I'm very proud to be on this team and be with Sony. So I want to remind everybody that the expansion panel, where you can learn more details about the expansion, will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. So make sure you show up. And one of the biggest things that I can add to that, you can learn to increase the power of your mercenaries. Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, thank you for playing EverQuest, and thank you for attending this year's SOE Live. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Done, sir. All right, folks, we are in the home stretch now. We have one more keynote for tonight. I know the bars and tables are waiting for you, and you're waiting for them. Quick reminder that we're going to do one more prize giveaway once the next speaker is done speaking. We spent the last 20 minutes removing the name Heather from the randomizer. And we found out that Heather is at Bally's wondering where the hell everyone is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now find out what's going on in the world of EverQuest 2 with, I would say, the best looking producer at SOE. Senior producer, Holly Longdale.
Thanks, Mark. That was weird. Women want respect in this industry. I know you guys want to get to partying, so I'm not going to do any creepy shtick for you. We're not competitive here at SOE Live, or on our teams, certainly not. But I do want to say, in all honesty, I really am proud to be here at SOE Live again to talk about this amazing game we have called EverQuest 2. It is incredible to believe that we are celebrating our 10th anniversary next year. Yeah. It's been a crazy ride, right? Yeah, it's been a crazy ride, and we thank you for sticking with us, too. And this ride is nowhere near over. My team, this team of incredibly passionate and creative developers, have a lot more they want to do for you. This game is going to keep getting better all the time. And why is that important? Because it really does matter to us that you have a ton of fun in our game and that you have really amazing experiences. So last year at SOE Live, we talked a little bit about how we were going to make that happen with what we called our show not tell philosophy. Also at SOE Live last year, we learned a lot from you. We spent a lot of time talking with you. And it became really clear to us how critical it is that we keep open the lines of communication between you and us. So we put some focus on that last year. So to start with, when we got home from SOE Live, we revived what is known as the Area 51 Forum. And there we invite some community leaders and players, and we ask them to sign an NDA. And we openly talk about features we have in development. And not just that, we talk about features that we have coming in the future. And the feedback and input in this forum has been incredibly valuable. They're a really good voice for you, our players. So not only that, this team focuses every day reading the forums. They're reading /feedback. They're reading all of our /bug reports. They are also dedicating 1 hour at the beginning of every day, if they can do it in that time, to fixing bugs. In the past 6-7 months, this has resulted in fixing more than 1,000 bugs. Some of them have been around since the beginning of the game. And this is important to us because we really do want you to have a smooth and fun experience. We really do care. And speaking of players too, we wanted to take a second and talk about Player Studio and how it's been working for EverQuest 2. It's been a lot of fun for us. And as you can see, it's adding a lot of flavor to the game. There's some really cool items here. Cambrian Man, one of our creators, is here at SOE Live, and you'll see at the end, Smed showed you a brief look at the tinkered auto wagon, but wait till you see the animations attached to it. It's pretty crazy. We have over 50 items that have been approved either in our marketplace or about to be there, and we're getting more all the time. And we really want to invite you to take part in this program if you're interested. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Right? Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, we really want you to get involved in this program because you get to make your mark on EverQuest 2. You get to add to our world and add character. So now we want to just take a quick look back, go back to since we launched Chains of Eternity in November, what we've been doing with our free content. So to start with, as we do every year, we've got Frostfell. But we wanted to tell you that every single time these holidays come around and every live event every single year, it's important that we add new stuff to it for you. Here we've got our Ginger Dread Man and, oh, poor guy. Yeah. We also have a releasey day as well. And again, in February, we added new items and content to these holidays because we always want you to have something cool to look forward to. Then we had our mini updates in December and February, which included a 2-group Burn Bones End dungeon, the Dreadcutter Raid Zone based on our ship zone from the Chains of Eternity expansion. We also added guild achievements, which is a cool new feature that allows you in your guild to track your raid targets and kills. We also added guild depots, so now you can store and share all your materials. Yeah. We also added around that time adornment removers. We added bag sorting and swapping, and a few other features too. So for a mini update, we added quite a few little improvements to the game. Then Brew Day in March, favorite of brass. Then of course, Bristlebane Day comes around, and this is always one of our favorite conversations in the year. What are we going to do for April Fools? So we were sitting around talking, and we thought, how cool would it be to ride a meat beast as a mount? So 2 of our artists, Tom Toby and Christopher Atkins, took this endeavor pretty seriously. Let's take a look at what happened.
So Chris and I finally corralled a meat beast. One of us has to milk her.
Not again, Tom.
Rochambeau.
Fine. 1, 2, 3.
You're in.
Man, you never go. It's always my job. That was way more horrible than I thought it was going to
Yeah. No sacrifice is too great for this team, as wrong as all of that was. Then it was just a few weeks later, on April 30th, we released GU66 Scars of the Awakened. And this was a really huge achievement for us, not just in the amount of content, but it was a real advance for us in terms of storytelling. So to start with, in our overland that we released in Cobalt Scar, we pair you with a central character in the story, Osh the Othmere, who in our game is pretty famous. And you go along with him on his journey to determine what has happened to his tribe in Cobalt Scar. And along the way, you do some pretty cool and unusual things. For example, you take part in a really touching funeral ceremony where you're ushering some unfortunate dead Othmere out to sea. I shouldn't laugh, it's terrible. And not only that, you end up encountering a horde of Othmere zombies that kind of shuffle after you relentlessly. And then you move on into the new Combine Army storyline, and then you get sent into Siren's Grotto. And here last year we showed you a preview of Siren's Grotto, but we really didn't show you the actual visual storytelling that was happening in that zone, which was broken ultimately into 2 parts. So you saw here, you see the Siren area that looks opulent. Then it moves into an influence of fear with all new architecture. So here we really wanted you to experience the story as you're moving through the dungeon. And I think we really hit a milestone with this release. So not only that, we also added the class updates based on the focused feedback forum from earlier in the year. And in that forum, we asked you, what do you find tedious and frustrating about the classes you play? So we made a couple of updates as a result. So some examples of some of the changes we made that take some of the tedium out of the gameplay is Crusaders can now cast while moving, and Scouts have a lot more latitude in their positioning when they're fighting NPCs. And again, this is just part of what we really want to do to make sure that you're having a really smooth, fun experience. This game is supposed to be fun. Then, what felt like a heartbeat later to us, just over a week ago, we released GU67 Darkness Dawns. Thank you, that's great. This was a really big achievement for us too in terms of the uniqueness. We wanted to add a lot of variety to serve the various ways that you play. We also wanted to add and move along our storyline, which we refer to as Age's End or the Age's End Prophecy. And I'm going to show you a little clip of the signature line quest that we delivered in GU67, but I'm going to give you a bit of context so you have a bit of understanding of what's happening in the video. So in EverQuest 2, the Age's End Prophecy tells us that Carafirm, the great prismatic dragon, is going to bring an end to Norath as we know it. So in GU66, Scars of the Awakened, you're still continuing to thwart his efforts, learn more about the prophecy, and do everything you can to prevent him from having this prophecy come to pass. So in GU66, you find this tier of Veeshan in Siren's Grotto. And then the leaders of the new Combine Army, which represent the leaders of Norath, call upon you to meet with them to discuss what to do with this tier of Veeshan. And as it turns out, this tier is an amplifier of magic. It is a great magical artifact. So in this meeting, you're standing there in this area talking to Queen Antonia Bale from Keynotes, Lucan Delir from Freeport. You're also speaking to Jelinek, the wisest dragon known in our world, who has also been a guide for the new Combine Army. And Jorlak, another central figure for us, appears here too. And it's decided that to use this tier to summon Lendiniara, who Tom mentioned, who appears in the EverQuest story. And she is a great oracle dragon. So she is being summoned to determine what should the next steps be to prevent Carafirm from ending the world. And this is what happens. Amazing, right? And keep in mind too, this is from the player's perspective. So we really wanted to make you a central part of the story and really make you feel part of the action here. And as I said, this is only a small piece of that signature line where we really wanted to deliver the story for the world and make you feel an essential part of it. We also added 3 new avatars of the gods to the world. The contested versions out in the Overlands with Salusek, Ro, Prexus, and Drenal. And at the same time, too, we released the Arena of the Gods. And And the goal here really was we wanted to level the playing field for all of our guilds out there so that everyone had an equal shot at the contested avatars. So in this arena, a raid force can go in, summon any one of the 9 avatars we have available, and really practice and hone your strategies. So it's really going to allow guilds to be more competitive when those contested avatars of the gods spawn. We also released character advancement templates. And this is a big feature for us. It is a cool feature that allows you to deal with the complexity of having to spend now over 300 points in abilities. So now in this system, you can choose a template we've created for you, and then you have confidence knowing that all of your points are being assigned and spent automatically, and you've got a good build behind your character. Or if you like to experiment with your statistics and all the various abilities, this system has the flexibility to provide that too. You can experiment as often as you like. We've taken away all the respec fees, and you can save as many of these templates and switch them out at will. You can also load a character template from someone who's given one to you or one you like, and you can share them too. It's a really cool, flexible system, and I'm really proud of it. The timing was really right for this because we really want this game to remain fun and easy to play for those who want to play it that way. And there's another reason which I will also get to in just a minute. But we also added personal depots in GU67 Darkness Dawns, yeah, which you asked us for. And we also released daily objectives. And our daily objective system now rewards you for playing the way you do every day. And we talked about releasing a loyalty rewards program in February, which ultimately became this system, but we really weren't happy with it because it felt more like something you were obligated to do every day. So now, in this system, you're being rewarded as a byproduct of what you do. We have 6 objectives every day. They cover all of our play styles, and they're relatively simple to complete. And when you do 2 of these, you then get a loyalty token, which you can spend at merchants in Freeport and Keynotes and get some pretty cool, unique items. So, not only that, we released 4 Fabled dungeons from our Desert of Flames expansion. And this allows you to go back into older content at a higher level and experience it again or experience it for the first time. And you're going to see us do more of that too over time. We're going to start hitting our other expansions. So that's just a look at where we've come from November just to today. And now we're going to take a look ahead. And there's a lot to show you. Yeah. In mid-September, less than a month, we are going to bring you heroic characters. This cool feature is going to allow you to get into our high-level content and have a ton of fun easily. These are level 85 characters. They come with a full set of armor with new appearances you see here. They come with a pre-assigned character advancement template, as well as a flying mount. And they will start in Ice-clad and Velius, which has been completely re-itemized, so that as these characters advance, the new rewards are going to feel really satisfying and cool. And we still have a few details to work out about this, but I can tell you right now that every single person can play a heroic character for free. Come on, it's a big deal. And then, about the same time, you're going to start to see pre-orders begin for our next expansion, our 10th expansion that we're calling Tears of Veeshan. Yeah, this is a cool one. Yeah. We're referring to this one as our high-level dungeon expansion. We've got 1 amazing overland and 9 dungeons. You're also going to see a return of really deep, incredible content in this expansion. This team is working really hard to add depth that you haven't seen in a long time. And what do I mean by that? You'll get signature line quests. We're adding a mission system into this expansion. You're also going to get collections as you usually do. But what you're going to see more of are what we call our point of interest, flavor, and storyline quests at the local level. So not only will you be participating in the story arc for the entire expansion, but every single dungeon we have will have several local stories that'll be interesting to you and lots of stuff to do. So we're excited about that. We also have really cool new dragon abilities, new dragon AAs. And a really cool feature about these is every single archetype is going to be associated and paired and get themed AAs from a legendary dragon from our history. So healers are going to get Wuoshi AAs. Fighters are going to get Jelinek AAs. Mages, Trachanon AAs. And scouts are going to get Dozakar AAs. And these AAs are available starting at level 10. And not only that, we are going to be adding 20 points to our ability system to bring the total to 340. Yay! 340 points, yay! We're also super excited to bring you a brand new itemization plan, not just starting with this expansion, but this is going to continue on in our future. We have a lot to tell you about in this plan. We know you want more uniqueness in our items. We know you want more choices and flexibility in how you build and gear your character to support the way that you play. And we're bringing that to you. So tomorrow from 5 to 6 p.m., please come to the panel and get some really cool details about this system. I think you'll be really happy with it. And as part of our free live content, finally, we're giving you mercenary slots. Now you can store more than one mercenary. Yeah. Right? I know. Yeah, now you can switch them out at your convenience whenever you're out in the field. No more going back to the city. Yeah. We're also expanding our guild hall system. We're bringing you tier 4 guild halls for Freeport and Keynotes. Yeah, lots more room to store your stuff. And because this is a high-level dungeon expansion, we are going to improve, update, and add to Dungeon Finder. And I mean it, seriously. It will be good, I promise. And not only that, at the same time, it's going to fix Matchmaker for the Battlegrounds too. So a lot of work is being put into really updating and fixing this system, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Really. Really. Yeah. And last but not least, we're bringing a brand new class into EverQuest 2. It is called the Channeler. It has completely unique mechanics and abilities. It comes with a pet. It is a priest archetype. It's a priest archetype that uses a construct pet. And this pet is ultimately your power source. And as you can see here, it is completely customizable. You'll be going out in the world gathering parts for this amazing construct, and at the same time gathering abilities. And these are completely independent, so you can mix and match at will and build these however you like. And we also have appearance spells that will be available in the content that will drop that you can collect too to add even more customization to this construct pet. It uses a bow as its primary weapon. Yeah, it wears leather. And this team has worked incredibly hard to make sure that we were ready here at SOE Live for you to play test this new class. So on Saturday, yeah, from 2 to 6, this is all the super secret testing session stuff you may have seen. So we're inviting you to come from 2 to 6 p.m. on Saturday to the mezzanine to play test this character, and our team's built some various level ranges for you to try. We're also opening the Channeler on beta during SOE Live for everyone to try. And we also have a panel on Sunday where we're going to give you a lot more detail about this class, as well as hopefully get some feedback from you. We've also got a survey, an online survey prepared, so we can get feedback from you too. It's really important to us that you try this and have a good time with it. So that's the features. Now we're going to go and take a tour into Tears of Veeshan. And it's really early days yet for the art, but we've already got some really cool stuff to show you. But before I do that, I want to give you a summary of where we are in the storyline. So in the signature line that I showed you just a moment ago, I'll tell you the 3 major things, the 3 significant things that happen there that's going to lead into the storyline for our expansion. First, that big dragon you saw there was Caraferm. That had to be Tom. Caraferm has made off and stolen the Tear of Veeshan. And this is bad news, really bad news, because he's already actively using it. He also, in that scene, he killed Jelinek. He killed the wisest dragon in our world that's been helping the new Combine army deal with this threat of Caraferm. And what we don't see here, another part of the signature line quest, is ultimately that the new Combine army, the great united army of Norath, is now in ruins. It is no longer. So we are now at the most delicate point in our history, and there's no one left to defend the world except you. So you're going to be asked, when this expansion begins, you're going to be going to, you're going to learn a couple of really important things. So first, you're going to learn that when Jelinek died, as all dragons do, they go to a place known as the Eternal Broodlands. And that represents the overland zone for this expansion. So you're obviously going to see some really cool stuff and lots of dragons, because that's where they go when they die. And you've killed a lot of them at this point. And there's that. And so you will be traveling to the Eternal Broodlands, and when you get there, you're going to reconnect with Jelinek. And he's going to reveal a few things to you that are also bad news. To start with, yeah, Caraferm has the tier of Veeshan, but not only that, there is more than one. In fact, there's several tiers of Veeshan, and they are exponential in the power that they add to whoever controls them. And not only that, Caraferm knows about them. So now you're in a race. Because now, Caraferm's not going to just bring the end of Norath. He's going to bring an end to everything, to every universe. So because of that, Jelinek is going to send you to various locations in time and space in order to recover these tiers and or prevent Caraferm from getting them himself. And this is allowing us a lot of really cool variety in the dungeons we're going to bring you. So with that said, let's take a look at some of the zone art coming together. This is the Eternal Broodlands. This is where dragons go when they die. Here you see Jelinek. And what you'll learn when you come here is that each dragon influences the area around it. So here, Jelinek, with his light colors, has the white cherry blossom look and feel. Here we have Darethar, the gold dragon, who also influences his area with golden colors. We have a lot of dragons in this zone that you're going to be interacting with. And not just interacting with, you're going to be partaking in some really incredible stories going from history to challenges to dragon politics, all kinds of variety. You've got Wuoshi, you'll see Harladar, there's Drazak, there's, give me a few others, guys. Lord Vim, that's right. Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool dragons in here that you're going to be connecting with. This also has adventure content. It's got raid content. It's got collections. It's got merchant areas. It's got trade skill areas. It's going to have hidden content too. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in this zone. So now we're going to move on to our expansions, and we're going to start with 2 brand new Shissar themes. And here you're going to enter an area known as the Chamber of Stasis. And here you're going to see Shissar architecture, statuary, and so on. And as you move through this dungeon, as we've said, it's very important that you see the story being told around you. So you're going to determine and learn something very unique is happening here. And now, it's been abandoned by the Shissar, but the Naiad have moved in. They discovered this abandoned temple, and ultimately, looking at the similarities, now feel that the Shissar were their gods. So not only are you going to get the layer of the story of the Shissar and figuring out what happened to them, why this is abandoned, and what its original purpose was, but you are also going to be taking part in this other layer of the story with the Naiad. What are they doing here now? What are they going to be doing? So a lot of really cool stuff happening in here. That was a Shissar construct there. So we have a second theme for the Shissar dungeons, but it's too early in its development to be able to show you anything. But I can promise you, it's got a completely unique story, completely independent of the Chamber of Stasis. So we're excited to bring High Keep into EverQuest 2. Yay! Yeah. And just like in EverQuest, High Keep grew up along the trade route between Freeport and Keynotes, and here it was incredibly successful incredibly quickly. And it grew really high up into the sky really quickly, and when it couldn't grow higher any longer, they started to dig below. And typically, when you dig below, you uncover something you didn't want to. And in this case, you uncover a pretty rowdy clan of pit-claw goblins. At this point, they have now overtaken High Keep, and it's going to be your job to go in here and determine what is happening here and hopefully clean them out. That said, though, here you can see a lot of uniqueness in the various themes in High Keep. And these goblins are going to have a lot of unique events to take part in. And there's a pig. So again, the second part of this dungeon is too early in its development, but the second part we call Pit-Claw Depths. You'll be exploring the dungeon of High Keep and the mines themselves, and there's a lot of really cool interactive storylines in there, and a very unusual, unlikely leader of goblins. It's a really innovative story, and I really can't say how proud I am about this team about really pushing their creativity and innovation in their storytelling. We also are bringing a brand new Stonehive theme. Here you're going to see some character art that's in development. And now, Stonehive in Enchanted Lands has reached critical mass. The Queen is sending her daughter out with a contingent of protectors and soldiers, and these are the models that we'll be using. And not only that, the Queen has sent her sister with the princess. And along the way, they're looking for a new hive. Everything's going well. And then in a fit of envy, the Queen's sister imprisons the princess. Even so, she continues to create and build a hive, and it has a really creepy, unusual effect on what develops. So there's a lot of really cool stories to be told in this dungeon, and hopefully we'll be able to show you some of that really soon. We also are exploring an area we call Nexus Core. So EverQuest players are familiar with the Nexus. Yeah, and here we're going to be exploring what powers the Nexus. And this is a really interactive zone for us. So this zone will have heroic and solo versions. But there's also an event version of this zone where you're going to be doing some pretty cool things that are really going to change the story in the expansion for you. And last but not least, Temple of Veeshan. Yeah. This is an incredible zone. It is the biggest dungeon we have made in recent memory. It has over 20 bosses in it. And its scale is so huge that this is the first dungeon that we're going to allow you to fly in. Yeah. So at this point in the storyline, this tour is going to continue, and it should be said too that this is just one portion, one hall area of Temple of Veeshan. There's 2 others as well. But here, Carafirm has taken over the Temple of Veeshan with his awakened army. And because he's had this tier of Veeshan, he's actually levitated Temple of Veeshan into the sky. It's become a flying fortress. Not only that, he can use the power of the tier of Veeshan to push this temple through the veil. So like I said, it's pretty dangerous stuff. He's coming into the Eternal Broodlands too, and there's going to be a really incredible storyline you're taking part in here, as well as all the incredible bosses you're going to find. You're going to be spending a lot of time in Temple of Veeshan, I promise you. So those are the zones for our expansion, and that's the summary of it. We obviously have a panel tomorrow. Please come to it. You're going to get a lot more detail. And we're not done yet. We still got a ways to go, and we're always looking ahead. This team is always, always busy. So to begin with, we have a brand new Frostfell zone coming last year, and as I started, we always want to be making new stuff for you, making it cool, making it fun. Yeah, complete with rainbow bridges, of course. Naturally, yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing, incredible looking zone. And not just that, in January, we're going to add new raids. We're going to do our next set of Fabled dungeons. We're going to move on to our second expansion, Kingdom of Sky, and add some of those. And we've got a really cool interactive PvP zone we want to release too around that time. And we're still looking ahead. We already have our theme in place for our expansion next year. And this is just a hint of the theme that we'll be going with. Don't say it if you know it. And of course, we're not going to talk about it here. But some incredible characters are coming together for this. And like I said, we are always, always, always looking forward. This team is tireless. They want to play this game as much as you do. So that was just a quick look back and a little bit of a look ahead. And while we're here, I wanted to ask my team to stand up so you can get a good look at them. So guys, can you, up, yeah. You didn't have to clap for them, really. I really want you to get to know their faces, because we want you to come talk to us. We are here for you. It's incredibly important that we keep, like I said, our communication open and honest. So please come and talk to us. We really encourage it. And while my team is standing, hopefully still, very nice, very good. We really do want to applaud you and this incredible game that we call EverQuest 2. So really, thanks to you guys. Really. Yeah. So, with that said, I'm going to give it back to Mark. No, really, have a good time here, everyone. Really speak to us. It really is important.
All right.
And here's to EverQuest 2.
Thank you very much. All right, let's have another hand for Tom and Holly, please, because they are, you know, I have the honor of working with both of them, the EverQuest and EverQuest 2 team, in working with the Legends of Norath product. And you as players are in really good hands with Tom and Holly. They are committed, they are passionate, and every minute of every day at work they spend making those games better for you guys. So they are terrific people, and they're very excited about the stuff that's coming up. So hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, so we are just about at the end. A couple of housekeeping notes here. Don't forget, we do have a Legends of Norath tournament, which we're holding until after this is over, so you can still register for that. And as you leave, reminding you tomorrow at 12 noon, what is it? I got to tell you, I saw the presentation for the first time yesterday. Yeah, it was that secret on campus. Not many people got a chance to see it. It is absolutely mind-blowing. It will blow you away. Do not miss this tomorrow at 12 noon, all right? All right, folks, as you are on your way out the door, have you guys seen these? The Nagafen hats? There are, I see some of you jumping already. There are a number of these taped to the bottoms of the chairs. You know what to do. If you find one, bring it up here, please. That'll do it for us. Thanks for coming to the keynotes today and the reception. We'll see you tomorrow morning for EQN.